Hi, this is a review of the Klipsch R-4B. It is a soundbar and subwoofer combo. It's basically something to use on your television now, since television speakers keep getting worse and worse. It seems that TVs, as they get bigger and bigger and bigger, but thinner and thinner and thinner, speakers are a complete afterthought, and there are some absolutely excellent TVs that put out almost zero sound. So if you don't want to go with a full-blown home theater system with a receiver, 5 speakers, 7 speakers, you can pretty much go almost to infinite speakers plus a subwoofer or more. If you want something that is nice, easy to use, easy to set up, this is an excellent set. It's one of these sets that anybody, I don't care what your tech level of experience is, you can hook this up, because all you have is 2 power cords and then only one other cable connection that you're going to need to make between your television set and the sound bar. Now, the sound bar is about 40 inches long. Otherwise, it's about 3.5 inches in diameter and in the depth. As we see, it's plugged in here. Let me unplug this. You can see here you've got a bar. There you've got on either side, you can kind of see through there. There is a mid-range and a tweeter on each side to give you your stereo sound. It's pretty small to where it should be able to fit. It's about 3.5 inches and about 3.5 inches on this side. You should be able to fit it in front of your television and pretty much any stand that you have. If you do want to hang it from a wall, as you can see here, we've got holes on the back to make it nice and easy to mount that on the wall. Now what we have here is the control panel, if you can see that, rather the connection panel, and it's pretty simple. You have a connection for the power, which is right over here. You have a digital input here for an optical cable. You have your normal RCA inputs there, and there's a USB input. I don't know what that does. It's nothing about it in the instructions. Maybe it's for something that it does right now. Maybe it's something that'll be useful for in the future. I'm not really sure what the USB cable does as of this point. If you know, feel free to put that down in the comments. But I don't know how you would hook up a television via USB, so let's just assume that that may be there in case you can hook up a thumb drive or something with music and have it play. I didn't try that because there was nothing about it in the instructions. That's the part that's going to give you the high end. This is the subwoofer. It's pretty small as far as subwoofers go. There's a 6.5 inch downward firing sub, but it actually does a really nice job. It's got a port there in the back, which helps with the speaker give a little bit better bass. Otherwise, you'll see there's no controls on this whatsoever. There's not even a power control. Pretty much you just plug this directly in, and everything's going to be run by the soundbar, which uses this little remote control here. Which, if there's anything I really don't like about this set, it's the remote control. It's small, uses a watch battery. It's super small, which for me means it's probably going to get lost. It's going to fall into the couch or something like that. But the nice thing is Klipsch did provide the information needed for most television remote controls in order to use your TV remote control with this set to control the volume and that. And a lot of people also use programmable remote controls. You could always just use the optical output at the end there to help get that set up. So the remote control, pretty basic. It does come with an optical cable, and basically that's what you use to plug in your television. If your television has an optical out, you go from that into the back of the soundbar. The soundbar communicates wirelessly with the subwoofer. And the same thing, if you want to use RCA outs from your television, you run the RCA outs from your television into the soundbar, and again, the soundbar communicates wirelessly with the subwoofer. Had absolutely no problem with the subwoofer. It's using either exactly Bluetooth or Bluetooth type radio to connect the subwoofer to the soundbar, and you have the same type of limitations, meaning you can go about 30 feet away or so as long as your line of sight and the sound quality should be fine. You get any further away than that, you're going to start losing the sound. You're going to have it break up. Had no problem whatsoever throwing it behind the couch, about 15 feet away from the sound bar. Had absolutely no problem with that. Sound quality is excellent. Vocals are nice and easy to hear, meaning in, both in music, because I did test it with music, but also when you're watching a television show, you want the dialogue to be crisp and clear. This, even right out of the box, sounds really nice. The vocals seemed clear, the bass, everything was separated enough to where you weren't struggling to hear the dialogue. With that said, if you do have a problem, maybe you run into a show or a movie that maybe doesn't have the best soundtrack, there is a mode on here which is basically an EQ mode that will boost those frequencies where voice comes in. I didn't particularly like the way that sounded. It seemed a little too harsh to my ears. But if you're having trouble hearing the dialogue, that may help. The bar I thought sounded absolutely fine, just in all of its stock settings without messing with different types of EQ. But that's just my ears and what I like. If you have somebody that is a little bit harder of hearing or maybe doesn't hear the high end that well, boosting that may actually be exactly what they're looking for. So it's something to mess around with, try the different settings, and see what your results are for for your own individual tastes. The amount of bass that it puts out, I thought, again, for a 6.5-inch subwoofer, was a really nice amount of bass, especially for something that's made mainly just for watching television. And the nice thing about a subwoofer like this that's wireless is you don't have to run wires, which is the obvious advantage, but you can put it right next to the couch. So I found putting this thing right next to the couch, right behind the couch, even at non-blistering levels, you still got a really nice amount of bass, and there was enough to where you could feel it because the bass is actually being produced within inches of where you are rather than all the way across the room. So that's something to mess around with as well. If you know anything about the way audio works, positioning means a lot with a bass box, with a subwoofer. If you put it in a corner, you're going to get the absolute most bass. A lot of times that is overpowering, but for smaller subwoofers like this, sometimes that is the best place. Again, play around with it a little bit, but usually right in the corner is going to give you the most amount, and you can kind of move away from there if it feels like it's just a little too much bass for what you want. But you can adjust the volume of the subwoofer independently of the volume of the unit itself. Now, speaking of the overall volume, Klipsch is pretty much right on the money here by saying it puts out about 106 decibels of sound. I grabbed my handy dandy little decibel meter sitting on my couch while the thing was playing at full blast. I was getting 99 to 100 decibels, bringing the meter right up to the speaker itself was getting about 108. So they're saying 106, that's right in the ballpark. And for most people in a normal size room, that's going to be more than enough volume. This is really set for somebody who isn't looking for surround sound, even though there's virtual surround sound in this soundbar, and a lot of soundbars from other companies have this virtual surround sound. It's not something I like. Absolute hate it. It just kind of screws with the sound and doesn't actually give you any surround sound. So if you're looking for surround sound, you probably want to go somewhere else. If you're looking for a really good stereo sound, this soundbar will definitely give that for you. And it is something that is based on looking for the consumer who's going to buy this. It's somebody like my parents who bought a TV but don't want to deal with running any wires, don't want to worry about any kind of crazy setup and having to turn on a receiver and then turn the Blu-ray player on and then do this and that. They want it nice, they want it easy, and this is really what this is. It's a one-stop shop. You take an output from your television, you plug it into here, and this handles all of the audio. And it's going to be 1,000 times better than the amount of audio and the quality of audio that's coming out of most TVs right now. And since it's all wireless, except for each power cord, there are 2 power cords. Again, one for the subwoofer, one for the soundbar. But beyond that, the only wire you need is the one wire to get it from the soundbar to the television. You can do that again, optical or RCAs. There is Bluetooth on here, but really I've never run into a TV that had Bluetooth in it. So this, I think the Bluetooth was included as a way to be able to play your music from your iPhone or your tablet or your Android phone or any Bluetooth device that you have, and it worked perfectly fine for that. It was easy to pair, had a nice amount of volume. This is something where if you wanted, a sound system or something in the basement, it's easy to throw this thing up on the wall, throw the subwoofer in a corner, and you can get a pretty big room full of music with very little effort to it. When I tried playing Netflix through my iPhone and through my tablet, there were some sync issues, but again, I don't think it's really made for to do that. Overall, this is a really nice unit for somebody that just wants to be able to plug something in, get a lot of high quality sound without having to deal with a whole lot of wiring. Just a nice, easy way to get more sound out of their television than from the speakers that come inside the television. So really, for me, highly recommended. If you want full surround sound, or if you want just totally room-shattering volume, you probably want to look for something else. But for a nice entry level, for most of your parents, again, people that don't want to mess with the stuff, this is going to be something that works, and you're not going to get a lot of calls where they're confused on how to get it up and running, because there's pretty much a power switch, volume, and that's it. So it's dead stupid simple, but produces great sound, does the job that it was meant to do. Now, if you have any questions that we didn't cover in the review, feel free to put those down in the comments. We do keep up with those, and we could do our best to answer those questions. If we don't know, we'll certainly try to find an answer for you to the question about the product. And if you found this review to be helpful, and we certainly hope that you did, if you can go down, if you're on Amazon, and click the part where it says, was this review helpful? Please click yes. That would be doing me a huge favor. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. We really, truly appreciate it. And let us know that we're doing the kind of reviews that you want to see. And if not, put it in the comments what you would like to see, what you would like to know, and we'll try to make sure we can do the reviews the best that we can. Again, this is a review of the Klipsch Soundbar Subwoofer Combo. It's the R-4B. One was provided for the purpose of this review, but that does not guarantee a good review. My name is Darren O'Neill. Thanks for watching.